Hey there, Reviver Nation. Coach Hudson here, bringing you day 4 of our core program. For today's exercises, we're going to be doing a half Tabata of the McGill curl, followed by a half Tabata of alternating side plank, and then we'll move into every 2 minutes on the 2 minutes times 3 of 15 waiter's bow, and then finish with every 2 minutes on the 2 minutes times 3 of 5 and 5 glute airplanes. So walking you through each of those movements, we'll start with that McGill curl. So for this movement, I'm going to be on my back. I'm going to start with one leg straight and the other leg bent. From here, I'm going to put both my hands face down or palm down underneath my lower back. After putting it underneath the arch of that lower back, I'm going to press down to that arch, pressing my lower back against my hands, keeping my back pressed against my hands and my belly tight. From here, I'm going to start to lift my shoulders off the ground. You should feel your upper abs contracting. And I'm going to hold this for 20 seconds. 20, belly nice and tight, belly tight, shoulders up, lower back pressing against my hands. And then relax for 10 seconds, switch sides, and then do 20 seconds on the other side. My other leg bent, my other leg straight. Up for 20, and then rest for 10. So each time you do 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, that'll be one round. We'll do 4 for a total of 2 on either side, going back and forth. Our next movement is the side plank. Side plank, I'm gonna be on my side and I have my hips straight up and down or vertical with the ground. From here, I'm gonna have my shoulders stacked, so I'll have my elbow on the ground, shoulder here, and then I can even reach up towards the ceiling to really make sure that I'm staying upright and not staying leaned over. I want everything to be nice and vertical. From here, I'm going to bring my hips off the ground, and you should feel your obliques, your abs on your side, squeezing as you do this. Again, I'm gonna keep that chest nice and proud, everything's stacked, perfectly vertical. If this is really tricky for you, you can do it on your knees instead, like so. Again, everything's straight up and down, pressing through my knees, lifting my hips up towards the ceiling. And I'm gonna hold that for 20 seconds on one side, then I'll switch. I'll do the other side, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So again, each time 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off is one round. And we'll go back and forth for 4 rounds, so 2 times each side. After that, we have our every 2 minutes on the 2 minutes times 3 of 15 waiter's bow. So for waiter's bow, I'm gonna be standing for this movement. So waiter's bow is gonna look a little bit like this. No worries. I'm gonna have my hands on my hips. From here, I'm going to push my hips back. I should feel that tension in my hamstrings here, and then I'm gonna stand up and squeeze my glutes. So I'll walk you through this. We wanna start by squeezing our belly, performing that pelvic tilt. So squeezing my belly, squeeze my belly, keeping my belly nice and tight as if someone was gonna punch me in the stomach. After that, I'm gonna start to push my hips back. I don't want to lock my legs. I'm going to have a slight bend in my knees, but I'm going to emphasize pushing my hips back as if I was trying to touch the wall behind me until I get some nice tension in my hamstrings. Keep pushing them back. You should feel all that weight transfer to your heels, almost like you want to fall backwards. And then from there, I'm going to start to stand up again, like so. Notice how my back, when I'm in this position, is nice and flat. I'm not rounding. I'm having a nice big proud chest, nice tight belly, stand up like so. If you want to have the wall behind you to give you some point of reference, feel free to do that. You can reach back, touch your butt against the wall, and stand up. Again, we want to go to the point where we're really feeling that tension in our hamstrings, keeping my butt back rather than having it go down, and getting that tension in the back of my legs. We'll do 15 repetitions there every 2 minutes. So you'll do your 15 repetitions, rest the remainder of the 2 minutes, and then when that 2 minutes expires, you'll start again with 15 repetitions. You'll do that 3 times for a total of 45 repetitions. If you want to add a little bit of challenge to this exercise, you can grab a plate or a weighted object, hold it against your chest, and again, the goal here is to go slow and controlled. Stand up, squeeze my butt, keep my belly tight, and really working those muscles of our hamstrings or those muscles in the back of our leg while holding a good position. For our next exercise, we're going to have the standing glute airplane. So you guys will need a wall or something to balance yourself for this exercise. I'm using a PVC, you can use a broomstick. For this exercise, we're going to do every 2 minutes on the 2 minutes times 3, you'll perform 5 and 5 repetitions on either side. So I'll perform 5 repetitions on my right side, then 5 repetitions on my left side. This exercise is gonna look a little bit like this. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna balance on one foot. I'm gonna have both legs straight. I have my foot that's planted on the ground, the knees slightly bent. And from here, I'm gonna start to push my hips back, kind of like the waiter bow we just performed. I'm pushing my hips back so I get that tension in my hamstring. Now the key here is not really thinking about balance, though that will require some balance, is pushing my hips back, and then from here, my hips are level. I'm gonna start to open my hips up, start to open my hips up, like so, and then close them, and then come back to that starting position. So again, push my hips back, feel that tension in my hamstring, trying to keep my chest up, keep my balance from here, and again, hold on to something if you need to, because the focus should be the ability to open my hips up like so, and then start to close them. Now as you open your hips, you'll feel that glute of the planted foot, that muscle in your butt, start to really turn on and squeeze. That's a good thing. We really want those hips to be back, open up, keep my balance, and then I'm gonna close the hip and then come back to standing. So again, it's push those hips back, bring the foot up, open, close, bring the foot back. Be real meticulous in this movement. You don't want to slosh it all together. That way you can really feel those muscles working and do what the movement's supposed to do. We'll do 5 on one side, then you'll switch feet, do 5 on the other side, and that's 1, and that's 2, so on and so forth. That's your exercises for the core program today. Gang, let us know how it goes.